Subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell icon for the latest film interviews, features, and recommendations on the movies that matter.
Saif Ali Khan, it's so good to see you, Saif. You know what I'm going to say first. I'm going to say that this is one of those times where you don't get to pick which side you get to sit on, because my joke with you has always been, every time we do those interviews where we're sitting across from each other, we set it up and you insist on sitting in the chair that's meant for me. This is that one time.
I know, this is, so I guess that's one big difference, no? We don't really get to sit opposite each other.
Right.
And I keep getting distracted by my own face while talking to you. There's a little window with me on it. We have to get used to that.
Yes.
I have to do my own lighting now.
Yes.
Is it all right?
Yes. It's perfect. You're sitting right in front of that beautiful greenery, and the sun is bright behind you. It's looking perfect. It's looking great, actually. Saif, I feel like Kareena and you, because you're not, the two of you are not really the sort of party animals, from what I notice, going out sort. I feel like this lockdown isn't something that's particularly distressing the two of you. But when you have a 3-year-old at home, are you constantly having to come up with ways to keep him entertained?
Yes and no. No, not really. I mean, it's quite easy, really. We've got a bit of a routine going.
Uh-huh.
And there are certain... hang on a second.
Okay.
The bottle. Sorry, the bottle. Tell Rajeev about the blue bottle.
No, sorry, start again.
Hello there.
No, I'm saying, let's start again. What was the question?
I was saying that, I feel like Kareena and you are not exactly the sorts that party or go out a lot, from what I know. But when you've got a 3-year-old...
I'm saying, first of all, we used to go out a lot, and I think it's a function really of age and also of energy, pollution, the works, in the sense that, after a certain point, I mean, if you have to wake up in the morning and feel fresh, like after a day shooting or while working, and when I come home, there's no way I can do anything except spend time with my family a little bit, and then, perhaps a little quiet time by myself. Even while shooting outdoors, when I come home from shooting, and somebody says, you go downstairs for a coffee or a drink, most of the time the answer is no. I just want to lie down and watch a bit of TV now. So there's that, and we're quite insular people. I mean, there's a lot happening inside our heads,
right?
And I mean, one misses certain things, but also not other things. And as far as Taimur goes, I mean, there's been various things that one does.
Bison.
Oh, okay, your bison.
Yeah.
All right.
What bison? Where goes bison?
What?
In that photo.
Which photo?
That photo.
I don't know what that was. I mean, Kareena tries and have an arts and craft class in the afternoon, and then there's some online education going on in the morning. He speaks to his teachers, and then we play, a bit of sport in the corridor, like cricket or football. I mean, whatever. So There's a routine there, and then we get time by ourselves as well. And one thing we do is read to him at night also, and put him to sleep and all that kind of stuff. So it's we've managed to form some kind of a routine in the day where kind of wake up, do some reading, do some exercise, and we all have lunch together, and then we kind of go our separate ways to corners of the house to kind of have some quiet time. And then I cook in the evenings, so I've become quite good at that. Of course, I have help in the kitchen, but
what have you done? What have you cooked up so far?
Well, I've cooked a really nice healthy chicken curry, which is kind of tomato based and garlic based, but it's really light. And there's hardly any oil. There's like 2 tablespoons of oil in it and stuff. So garlic and onion is the base for most things in our cooking.
Right.
So there's that. So there's this chicken. There's a healthy kind of fish. There's mutton. There's spaghetti. There's various things. But like it's growing into a bit of a you can have a different meal every day of the week without it being boring. So
Right.
and my wife seems to really like my cooking more than the last cooks. But anyway, she's got me in there every day. So that helps morale apparently, and that's my contribution.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
You know, you said that you spend a lot of time in your head, Saif.
Yeah.
You have that time that you go away and spend some time in the corner. You're spending a lot of time in your head. I'm wondering, Saif, whether that gives you, whether this time is allowing you that opportunity to reflect on the career. Because Saif, I feel like every time we've spoken, the last few times we've met, and I feel like it's not just the last few times. I feel like you've you've been in sort of in this confusion over what career you want to have. There was a phase.
Rajiv,
No, and I mean it in the
I
best
might
way. I
sometimes
mean it.
give the impression of being,
Right.
confused at the moment. But actually, I'm
Right.
not confused at all. I'm very clear. It's just that there might be slightly, I might not be the same as everybody else in terms of many things, my
Right.
outlook, my input, what goes on in my head. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that I'm having exactly the kind of career that I want to have.
Right.
I mean, I could say, oh, do I want to be like this guy or do I want to be
Correct.
like somebody else? No, so there's no
No.
confusion there.
No,
I mean,
I meant, there was a point where you said I want to do the off mainstream stuff. That's something that I enjoy doing. That's something that people like to see me in. I read somewhere that you want to be more commercial now, and I feel like, and I use the word confusion, but I feel like that confusion has led to actually a very diverse career. It's actually really exciting choices. There is the Kalakandi and there is the Lal Kaptan, and then there is the Javani Jani Man and the Tanaji. So I feel like that confusion, and I use confusion as for lack of a better word, but it feels like it sort of results in a very diverse career.
yes, I suppose so, but again, I mean, like I said, I don't know if confused on it is the
Right.
right word, but I think it's just taking whatever grabs your fancy at that time, really. I mean, ultimately, it's a creative job. You've got to go, get up and go to a set and just be part of something, part of a story. And if you
Right.
like the people and if you like the idea and you like that kind of thing, that's it, really. I mean, one of the things introspecting has led me to understand is that we've created a world, which is probably a good thing,
Right.
that is so competitive normally. And that's one thing that's just really gone out of the window during this lockdown is, I mean, we're so focused on ourselves and on our, the basics, the essentials, as people are talking about. So we're eating and we're eating healthy and there's enough food and there's enough to read and life seems to be, sustainable at this level. And then, and you're happy with that. It's just that when the lockdown's lifted, then you're constantly comparing yourselves to other people saying, but what about that? And am I cleverer or am I better looking or am I richer or am I that? And I've just noticed a lot of our lives, a lot of my life, as somehow I'm surrounded by the need to be competitive, even with friends. And I don't think that's a very healthy thing. I wish I could alter that. But I have a feeling that's part of what capitalism is all about and how we, generally get along. I feel I'm going off the point. What were we talking about?
No, the fact that this has led to a really diverse career.
Well, I guess, I mean, Bollywood has got so many different people in it, It's just a question of how responsible you want to be and where you're at in terms of you'll be offered stuff. And I've generally always been offered slightly offbeat and kind of, people trying to do some sort of new age cinema. And whether that's successful or not, or whether it's a good idea or not, the older I get, the less inclined I am to believe that, it is, they probably won't run those films, I'm pretty sure. But nevertheless, once in a while, one gets bored of doing the same sort of thing. So I'm sure there'll come a time. There's a reason why I've chosen those films. There's a reason why I've had the kind of career. So I think it's important to do something like a Kal Ho Na Ho, whatever that means, But then there's important to being Cyrus also. I mean, I'm talking about, I mean, perhaps more recently, Tanaji and Kalakandi are part of the same career,
Right.
and they should be, but because it just keeps things more interesting. And ultimately, that's it, really, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
storytelling. It's not
Yeah.
really about. It depends what you want. Some people say, no, I really want to be the most, successful, as in my films should make lots of money. At which
Right.
point you'll choose completely differently.
Correct.
You wouldn't choose half these films. You'd say, oh, this probably won't run. But it's still
Right.
incredibly good fun to do,
Sure.
and something you can sit back and watch later in life and say, okay, I'm glad I did that.
Mm.
So everyone's driven, I guess, by different things.
Right. Seth, you were in Tanaji, and you were really the best thing in that film. You were incredible. That was an absolutely terrific. You really made a meal of that performance, of that part. Does the success of that film, and more than the success, just the responses that your performance got, kind of solidify that belief that you need to do the wider, the more mainstream movies more frequently.
Well, no, I mean, in a sense, it's just nice to know that as an actor, you
Uh huh.
can get down and dirty into a role, and everybody likes it, and you enjoy doing it, and it's just, everybody's happy. The director's happy, the producer's happy, you're happy because you feel that this is the way to do action, and this is the way to kind of, play the scene, and you kind of create this character, and everybody likes it. So I mean, it goes down well, and it's a kind of unanimous thing. So that's a great feeling. But again, these are tricky things because you don't want to get stuck into a box of just being that guy or just doing that same thing.
Yeah.
So you do it and then you take a step back. At least this is what my take is as an actor. What you should be is you should have the. I mean, a lot of time one needs to work. Whether it's financial or it's usually financial when actors need to work. But
Right.
ideally, the situation is if you can take a step back and say, okay, now let me not do that. Let me do something else. I just want to be creative and different rather than trying to fulfill, uh, some kind of niche I've created.
Yeah.
It's not really a self-sustaining kind of job that you're trying to create. You're trying to just do unique things from time to time. Um, at least that's what I would want to do. So the fact that you can do it and that you did fit the role and that it did well should give you peace of mind. And you say, okay, from what once in a while, it'd be lovely to do that. To
Right.
do that all the time will be impossible because you will not get that role, and you will
Mm.
not get um, that kind of platform very often. There's something about
Right.
Om Raat also in that film that I knew was special, and he allowed me to also play the role like that, and we did it together, and we really worked harder than one might have normally in that, and because he was on that quest for something special, and he wasn't
Right.
settling for anything less. So those things don't happen every day. I mean, a lot of people strive for greatness in their films, of course, but um, I don't know. Like, you just mix it up, like I said.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you feel that this was a great thing that we did, um, but when you hear a story, you just like, okay, I want to be in that, or I don't want to be in that, and
Mm.
it's really that simple.
Seth, you were the first Bollywood star who worked in a web series, in a digital series, when you did Sacred Games, and that popped, and it also kind of gave I think other actors drew from that, and they realized what one can do, and the opportunities that allows you. Has there been any talk, and I know I've asked you this before, has there been any talk of a third season? I mean, for obvious reasons, it would need to be a spin-off or a prequel. Or has there been any conversation? Do you know if that's likely to come back?
No, I haven't heard of anything, and I mean, it's a nice character, so I
Yeah.
mean, and you could write something, I suppose, and it's a good world, and people have liked it, and in fact, it's actually a really good idea to get away from the book
Hmm.
and just do a proper mafia and cop show,
Hmm.
um, and and I'm sure Vikram Motwani and um, the writers and Anurag could come up with something terribly original and fun, and maybe they should. It's a nice idea. Um,
Yeah.
it's just working on that show was amazing fun, and it was so nice because everybody took the whole thing really seriously. That it's Netflix, and we treated it like an international platform, and somewhere where people, the writers are trying to be as intelligent as possible and as entertaining as possible. And we knew it would be compared to Narcos when it came to performances and the camera work and everything. So it was a very highly charged atmosphere in terms of creativity and all that. And I think we acquitted ourselves well. People
Yeah.
were. So yeah, I'd love to. I think it's a wonderful platform.
You are doing another show though, with Ali Abbas Zafar, aren't you? It's a show
Yes.
called Dilli.
Oh, I hope it's not eventually called Dilli, because
Okay.
Tandav was the working title, which
That's right.
captures more the essence of what the show was about.
Uh-huh.
Whereas Dilli is a little uh, Thanda, really. So anyway, I don't think we have either title, Dilli
Okay.
or Tandav. So we have to work hard to come up with something that's a little sexier, like
Okay.
House of Cards.
Right.
Something with a little more poetry to the title than just a geographic location,
But this is it's a political show. It's a political thriller.
I mean, yeah, I think the idea behind the show was that in India, we really like politics,
Yeah.
and we have a strong political system, and we've had films like Rajniti or whatever, and just to have a show set in the kind of, Lachin's Delhi and also JNU, I mean, we changed the names, of course, university, and student politics and high level politics and murder and, sex scandals and all that kind of stuff, the paraphernalia of the political world. It'd be a good idea for a show, and I think it is.
Right. Now, apparently y'all are at the last mile. Y'all had a little bit left to go. Is that true?
No, we're completely finished. I mean, there might have been
Oh.
some dubbing left,
Okay.
but I don't see why they can't release it, really.
Right.
I know I spoke to Ali, and he said that the Amazon people, said that the edits are perfect. They don't want any changes, and they're really happy with whatever they've got. So that's one thing that I didn't think of it like that, but there is something ready to go.
Right. There's a little bit of Bunty and Bubbly left.
There's quite a lot of Bunty and Bubby left. There's a large chunk left. We were about to start shooting a song,
Uh-huh.
and then I think all of us felt that being on a set doing a song would not be the most comfortable feeling.
Right.
And we were allowed to go home very kindly by the producers.
Right.
And then the next day, that became the mandate.
Right. Seth, you're one of those handful of stars that's not on social media. You've chosen to stay away, though you frequently pop up on other actors' feeds. Most frequently, of course, on your wife's feed, her Instagram feed. I remember asking Ranbir Kapoor, who like you is not on social media, why he's not, and it's a great place.
What
to
did
be.
he say? I'd love to know.
He said, I don't think I don't think I have anything important or intelligent enough to say. And that's his sort of understanding of it. But by that logic, you over most others should be on social media. You actually usually do have something intelligent to say more often than not.
Presumably, he's being slightly disingenuous is the word. Slightly sarcastic when he says, "Oh, I don't know. What does that mean? I can't be bothered." Or
But if you take it literally, if one were to take it literally, it's true. You're actually someone who's very well read. You actually do have an informed opinion on things.
No, I think Ranbir Kapoor has very intelligent and interesting things to
Sure.
say. But I also, I don't know why. But I've always said I might well be on it. I was just talking to my mother.
Uh-huh.
It's nice with this video thing. I don't
Yeah.
normally video conference her at all, but I felt like, I'd connected with her. And she was saying, should she join Instagram? And I said, yeah, but you'll have to share pictures, and she says, yeah, I need to get to Patodi and my roses, and I could share that. And so I said, if she gets on it, I might get on it as well.
Okay.
And I think we should get on it because, it's never been a rule that, oh, I don't
Sure.
want to be on it. It's just that, I think it's because everyone was on it that I thought, okay,
Right.
I don't want to be on it because everyone's on it, and just don't want to do something because everyone else is doing it. I think that's just how
Mm.
my head works sometimes. Um, and, there is a certain amount of mystery in not sharing, and then when you see, well, a lot of what's happening is this kind of, I don't know whether it's the media, unfortunately. I get it that our
Sure.
media sometimes also is parked in certain places, but workout video, and what are people really sharing? I mean,
Right.
I've looked at it. I mean, it's not that interesting, really. I mean, it's after a point, it's just like quite boring to look at. I mean, it might be interesting for a fan, but no, I
Sure.
don't know. I think if you do it, you should do it. You should have something interesting to say. And if
But
you're
I think
not,
you'd.
I agree with Ranveer that if it's not, maybe it's not a lot of. But I see an edge to what he's saying, which he probably, I don't mean to put thoughts into his head, which is that neither is anyone else really that interesting, and they probably shouldn't be on it. Is that what he's secretly saying?
I think he may have meant that. I think he may have
Yeah,
meant that. But
yeah.
I feel like Twitter is more suited for you. I feel like your personality, and where it's really words more than pictures.
No, no, I think very much pictures. If you go through my phone, I have
Uh-huh.
recorded almost everything that I've experienced in you know, pictorially a lot. I like taking pictures, and I'm not very, I don't like getting into an argument. I'm very clear, Rajiv, how I want to live life, and I have kind of like, things I like and things that are important to me, and what I want to get out of a day and what I want to get out of a year is very
Mm.
clear. And very little of it is to try and prove a point to somebody else and to get into an argument, because
Right.
there's life's too short for that, and it's too noisy. It's like one of those
Yeah.
news shows where everybody's yelling. I mean, why be
Yeah.
on that? I'd much rather be curled up reading a book somewhere, or having a glass
Right.
of wine with a really good friend, or there are various things: working, coming home, spending time with the kids, taking a holiday, going somewhere beautiful, looking at the sea. That's it. And then
Yeah.
growing old and dying one day. I mean, that's fine. But there's no. I don't know. I guess one thing I've never. There are many things I don't have, and there's many. What's the word? Not disadvantages, but there's many things I'm not the best at or whatever. But I think one gift is that I'm seem to be clear on this of how I'd like
Right.
to live.
Right. Seth, what have you been watching? I feel like this time has given all of us an opportunity to catch up on things we've been missing. Do you guys curl up to something in the evening? Do Kareena and you sit down and watch,
Yeah,
catch
but
up on?
I mean, we always have. We've always watched English detective shows, or
Hmm.
like Murder She Wrote, which is an 80s American version of Miss Marple with Angela Lansbury. So something heartwarming like that. Um, that's at night. And in the day, if we don't watch TV at all.
Uh-huh.
But in case we do, it'll be a documentary of some sort, or something like that. And then read, like I said, it's more exercise, reading, music, playing with Taimur, or doing something like on Easter. We did a treasure hunt for him where
Yes.
we had hidden these little eggs all over the house with little, clues that
Clues.
he would understand, and he was
Nice.
really excited about it. So
Nice.
so various things like that. So anyway, sorry, you're asking me what we've been watching. Um, the same old, Karina's watching some slightly dodgy sounding Spanish show. Um, what's it called? She's watching that.
Elite.
Yes, it's Elite. I think that's it. So she's watching that. And what was I watching? Um, I think I might start watching Girl 8, which is also a
Right.
Spanish show. Jay Shevakramani was telling me to check that out. Um,
Okay.
Otherwise, documentaries on whatever, something in the day, and in the evening, uh, yeah, Netflix, whatever. There's so much going on.
Is the
Revisiting old
li-
shows.
is the little guy allowed to watch any Disney stuff? Are you guys watching stuff with him?
He watches the iPad only at lunchtime, actually,
Okay.
when he eats
That's a
his
good
lunch.
discipline. Yeah.
Yeah, and that keeps him quiet, and it's literally about 20 minutes in a
Wow.
day. Yeah, otherwise he's more interested in like running around and doing other things. And of course the iPads used with the teacher, you know,
Right.
um, on these online classes.
Right.
They're doing
Right.
pretty well.
Yeah.
I wonder how long it will go on for, though. I can't see people acting on a set and like in proximity or
Yeah.
like hugging a girl or hugging a guy or whatever, touching. Like we're quite tactile. I mean, we're quite close to the people we were. And then massive crews living all over the city. I can't see a normal shooting environment till at least the end of the year. I don't think so, at least. Or September, what? I don't know.
But do you believe, sir, finally, do you believe that when this is over, when this passes, and when we can return to a normal life, whatever normal will mean when we do you believe this experience is going to fundamentally change us as people?
I don't know. I hope so, but I also feel you know there's a tendency to become we adapt fast as people,
Yeah.
and if the water runs out in the shower, then it alters your lifestyle, but it comes back and you go back to the way you were. It's like you
Mm.
start thinking differently in the traffic jam, and then suddenly when the traffic jam's gone and the roads open again, you kind of forget there ever was any traffic. It doesn't really change you like that. We're like this because we have to be. So you're connecting to somebody on FaceTime, and everyone's got time. You're playing online chess, so you're doing whatever. But hopefully, I mean, it'd be a sad person. I actually we keep imaginary sort of laughing at others, saying some people must be really screwed up at this time, but we're so even that's competitive. That we're so cool.
Correct.
We're like okay,
Correct.
like who's not okay right now. But I feel most people are okay, but except of course
Yeah. Except those
people who are
around. Yeah.
not working, not eating. I mean, like we this is a luxury for us. We're just like at
Yeah.
home with the kid. I mean, it's no big deal. But the one's heart goes out to the people who need to work to pay for
Yeah.
day-to-day stuff, of course. So I don't know how much it changes. You should be like this anyway, where
Right.
things are important, like reading and doing this and hanging out by yourself. And I don't know. What do you learn from something like this anyway? You know.
Yeah. I suppose what is important, right? I mean, what really matters.
That's right, but I think we've always known that. So
So
there's no shocker there. Otherwise, you'd be climbing the
yeah.
walls. I mean, it's like that's fine. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but what is really important, I suppose, even beyond, like even about, we can get to know ourselves a bit better, maybe. Like, why do I need this? It really is. It is. If you're not, of course, you keep forgetting. This is not like some introspective yoga retreat. I mean,
Correct.
the idea is not to catch COVID-19. Bloody
Right.
hell.
Correct.
Because nobody's figured that out yet. It's like harming some really healthy people. So
Yeah.
it's not just like no, I don't think people understand this. Now there's talk of it having different types in different countries, and China's got type B, and America has type A, and God knows what's going on here. Quite, um, quite worrying to see where this is going to go.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we can only hope to stay healthy and stay safe, and that's what I will wish you at this point. Stay
Yeah,
healthy, stay safe, stay indoors, safe. More time with the folks. I suppose as I keep telling all parents that when all this is over and when one goes back to one's normal life, the kids are going to be really disappointed that they're not getting that much time anymore, right?
our kid will be devastated. I mean, we're just around all the time. This is a dream come true for him,
Right.
unless he's fed up of us by the end of it. He
Correct.
did say something today like, this is not a good time, he said. I said, why? He said, I can't play with my friends. Or I can't go out or something, this coronavirus.
Wow.
Um, yeah. So, no, there's always, this is one of the big advantages that parents get to
Yeah.
stay home, at least for me.
Yeah.
Depends on what your circumstances are. So we can't really speak for anybody else. Some people might be
Sure.
having a really tough time here.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, Seth. Always a pleasure. This is always good. The next time we meet face to face, you can switch those chairs again. You can sit in
Yeah,
my spot.
and I see you're hard at work. So you're
I
busy, are
am.
you?
This is the only way to keep one from sort of losing it. I feel like some of us just power on doing what we do, and yeah, this is great. To talk to
Are you
talk
reading
to those.
something?
I'm reading Woody Allen's new memoir, the one that he's just written.
Oh,
It's
nice.
actually really interesting. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
very funny.
He's very funny, and this is really interesting. When I'm done, I will tell you whether it's worth getting into or not. But I'm enjoying it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Nice talking to you, guys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. The next time in
Bye.
person. See you soon. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.